Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. Today we're going to be in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verses 16. And we're also going to be in Isaiah, chapter 19, verses 18 and 19. And the first one is going to be what God says. So this is Isaiah 43, verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, which maketh a way in the sea and a path in the mighty waters. Now we're going back, backwards, to Isaiah chapter 19, verses 18 and 19. In that day shall 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to the Lord of hosts, and one shall be called the city of destruction. Verse 19. In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and a pillar at the border thereof the Lord. Now I want to repeat all of those. So we're going to fast forward back again to Isaiah 43, verse 16. Thus saith the Lord, which maketh a way in the sea, and a path in the mighty waters. Now we're going to go backwards and go to Isaiah chapter 19, verses 18 and 19. Verse 18. And in that day shall the 5 cities in the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, and swear to the Lord of hosts, one shall be called the city of destruction. Verse 19. In that day shall there be an altar to the Lord in the midst of the land of Egypt, and in a pillar at the border thereof the Lord. Through God all things are possible, and all things may be made new. Dwell not in the past. See what we did there? And of what was or could have been, but rather look forward to what through God's grace may unfold within the divine plan. Being a Christian is constantly about a state of becoming, of a moment towards the light of perfection shown to us by Christ. A part of this is to always remain open to God's works and feats. Emerging all around us, God will create and recreate the world. And it is not for us to mourn what may pass, but to rather seek and to adapt our faith in becoming what is yet to come. We also learn that with Lot's wife, that he said, do not look back. And Lot's wife, what is she? The first thing she did was look back. Here was Sodom and Gomorrah, 2 of the most sinfulest cities. There was a lot of, men sleeping with men, I should say. A lot of women sleeping with women. And then just people just sleeping with any and everybody. There was also gambling. They did not have no kind of morals there. You just had ladies just dancing all around. I guess it was their time, what they would call, for our days, be like strip clubs, so to speak, where the ladies would just all dance around. The prostitutes were just opening about everywhere. There was no modesty. And the only one people that happened to be Moses' cousin, Lot, his family was the only ones in there. And the only reason why they ended up in Sodom and Gomorrah to begin with was because when they was taken out into the open, the families got too big for the area they was in. So he sent Lot this way while he went that way. Maybe Abraham, I'm not sure which cousin it was, but one of the 2. Sorry, my bad. But anyway, so when God had the angels come down, and he begged them, well, if I can find 50. He said, if you find 50, I won't burn it down. What about 25? 25, I won't burn it down. What about 10? I won't burn it down. 5, sir. And he was like, 5 and I won't burn it down. The only problem is the only people that they found was his family members, so the angels took them out. And as they was going out behind them, God said, we're going to blow up the whole 2 cities. Whatever you do, do not look back. by looking back. She wasn't just looking back to see destruction and all of like, oh, I'm going to see what God has done and blown him up. She was actually looking back. And in that moment when she was looking back, her heart and her mind and thoughts was filled with the things that was burning up. All the things that she had owned, all the things that she had. And she was missing that. She was mourning those things. Forgetting about how her life was just saved. She wasn't even focused on that her life was being saved at that moment, because that could have been her burnt up. So she stopped to turn around and to mourn for those things that she once had, because she was going to miss them, instead of focusing on that her life was just saved. And if he's going to take them out of there, then of course he's going to provide for them, because God always provides for all the children. So it wasn't just the fact of looking back, it was the fact that she was mourning for those things. She was longing for those things that she once had. So God turned her into a pillar of salt. And still to this day, you can see that pillar of salt standing right there where she turned around and looked back. God is amazing, man. For those of you who don't believe, that the Bible is not real, you can find almost all his stories to be true and accurate in the lands what they say they are. The mountain with the top of that mountain that's still burnt up. The rock that was split in half to produce water. I don't know where the burning bush part is, but it's got to be somewhere. In Turkey is Noah's Ark that landed on top of those mountains. I mean, archaeologists and scientists actually use the Bible to find artifacts throughout all of Egypt. If the scientists and archaeologists use the Bible as a map to find these things, that just shows you right there just how accurate the Bible is, just how true. I mean, right in Turkey, in that area down below those mountains, it's called the City of Eight. Wonder why it's called the City of Eight? Because there was 8 people on Noah's Ark. We got to remember to stay focused on the life that God's going to give us. We got to remember that God provides for us. He always has. First of all, God has never forsaken us. Throughout our life, there's been times that we thought we was alone. We thought we was by ourselves. But the whole time, God was there. Each little step. Every moment that moment of kindness ever happened to us, that was God. Reminding us that he loves us. Using the act of other people, his other children, to show you and to remind you that he loves you. The past is past. You got to let it go. There's too much coming towards you that you need to pay attention to. They always say you need to look where you're walking so you don't stumble and fall. Because anytime somebody looks back, what do? They trip, they fall. If you're not paying attention to where you're going, you're always going to stumble. You're always going to fall. Because you're not focused. People wonder why they never get nowhere. Well, maybe because they got their head to the side instead of forward. They may not have it all the way behind them, but they got it to the side or to this way. Paying attention to this person and that thing and that thing. Instead of on themselves and going forward. Keep your eyes forward. Pay attention. Yes, you got to be aware of your surroundings, looking here and there, but that's just a second or two. You're not supposed to keep your head turned that way. Quit conversating. Stay focused. Go forward. Hi, bye. Keep going. God bless. You know what I'm saying? You got yourself to worry about. Let's go ahead and get in prayer. Lord Almighty, creator of the heaven and the earth, hallowed by your mighty name. In your presence, I pray that I bend my spirit to your will. I hope that you would find comfort in me. And only that, but in my accomplishments, Lord Jesus. Help me to realize, to stay steadfast, and to put my trust in your plan for the future. May I seek instead